Hello, today we're going to discuss how to reduce water pollution. First, we're going to talk about treatment and purification of water and the steps that are followed. Then we're going to talk about the reduction of municipal waste, then that of industrial wastes, and lastly, the reduction of agricultural wastes and eutrophication. Let's begin with the treatment and purification of water. So how does raw water become safe to drink? Be extracted from groundwater and surface water. First of all, groundwater is responsible for 36% of raw water that is extracted, and it develops when rain and snow seep into the rock and soil. An aquifer is a body of rock or sediment that is completely saturated with water. So basically, as we can see in the image, the water is inside the rocks and it can be extracted by poking holes in the ground. Next is surface water, which is responsible of 64% of raw water that is extracted. This type of water is usually extracted from lakes, streams, and rivers through pipes by pumps or gravity. So gravity is from a higher place to a lower place. Both groundwater and surface water are then transported to a water treatment plant where many processes treat and purify water. Once in the facility, water undergoes filtration and purification processes to get rid of unwanted trash, parasites, and other materials. First of all, there is screening, which is when the water first enters the plant. Large debris like trash, bits of plants, and stones are filtered out using screens. Later on, coagulation and flocculation takes place, where chemicals with a positive charge are added to water. Common coagulants include aluminum sulfate and ferrous sulfate. The positive charge of these chemicals neutralize the negative charge of dirt and other dissolved particles in water. When this occurs, the particles form a precipitate and form floc. Floc settles into the bottom of the water supply due to its weight. So basically, these chemicals make the dirt that is dissolved into a water into a physical substance that can settle down on the body. Next is filtration and disinfection. Even though there is no more dirt in the water, it should be completely clean to drink. So the water is passed through layers of activated carbon, sand, and gravel. But to completely get rid of microorganisms, chlorine and ozone are used to disinfect the water. And sometimes, if you knew, fluorine is added to the water to improve dental health. Okay, now to reduce water pollution, we should first reduce our municipal wastes. 2 billion tons of municipal solid waste is generated every year globally. Simple actions can make a big difference. So here are some steps to follow to avoid having too much municipal waste. First of all, we should avoid the use of single-use food and drink containers. Instead, we can buy and purchase reusable, recyclable tools made from metal, wood, or paper. Next, we should always carry with us reusable bags and bottles, since bags and bottles of plastic are sometimes unrecyclable and they contribute to a large percentage of ocean pollution. Finally, organic waste. Several solutions have developed for organic waste in the recent years. The most common and affordable solution is the use of compost bins. When we dispose food remains, eggshells, banana peels, and other waste in a compost bin, microorganisms decompose them to compost, which is rich in nutrients for plants. So basically, it can be used for better plantation instead of polluting the environment. So next, we have the reduction of industrial wastes. So industrial water waste poses a big threat to land and marine ecosystems. steps plants should use, and these steps should be enforced by law to prevent toxic water leakage. First of all, we should be efficient with this use of water. Okay, so an excess of water shouldn't be used in industrial operations. Next, we should have cleaner wastes. So for example, when the waste is going out of the industrial plant, it should be at least filtered out moderately so it can be safe to go out. Third of all, we should connect these waste plants to a water treatment facility like we talked before, so this water can also be treated for drinking water or so it can be clean water going into the ocean without polluting it. Finally, we have to talk about agricultural wastes and eutrophication. Waste is the main cause of eutrophication. So, when farmers are using an excess amount of fertilizer, unused macronutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus get carried away by the rain into bodies of water. This causes an algal bloom, leading to the formation of an impenetrable layer of algae which blocks sunlight to the bottom of the body of water. So basically, these nutrients help with the speed of growth of plants and algae. So when these nutrients reach the body of water, algae have reproduction very quickly and then block sunlight to the water lake. In turn, plants under the shadow can't photosynthesize, leading to the death of these plants and other animals. Well, you might ask, how do these other animals die? So, as we said before, so many algae is being made and eventually it will die. So once it settles down to the bottom, bacteria and microorganisms decompose this dead algae, and this uses a lot of oxygen, which would decrease the concentration of oxygen in the body of water, which in turn would make life hard for the animals. So we should reduce agricultural waste and eutrophication. How? First of all, farmers should not use more nutrients than their plants need, even though this might decrease their profit. Next, proper isolation of field soil to prevent nutrients to be carried away into the bodies of water. This can be done by using impermeable membranes on the sides of the field. Next, we should donate organic waste to biomass and energy plants. So basically, all fields have excess waste of dead plants and other. So these can be donated into biomass energy plants where they can be used to make electricity. Okay. Next is algae cleaning projects. For example, in the Baltic Sea, so many algae has formed, so they should do cleaning projects to remove this layer and return life into the sea. Okay, and next, also in Finland and Sweden, meat guides help citizens limit their meat consumption, which indirectly impacts eutrophication. And finally, we should treat water coming from sewers, industrial plants, and agricultural fields instead of dumping it in the sea, ocean, lake, or river. Agricultural production have high eutrophication. For example, the eastern United States, Mississippi for example, has high agricultural production. This in turn makes high eutrophication on the sea borders or lakes in Mississippi. Next, the Baltic Sea. Baltic Sea is one of the most significant bodies of water with eutrophication. And next is Eastern Asia, since Japan and South Korea and even China have high agricultural production. Globally, 785 million people do not have access to clean water. We have to act fast to reach UN SDG, which means Sustainable Development Goal 6 and 14. The sixth Sustainable Development Goal of the UN is to have clean water and sanitation for all. This means we have to treat water correctly to have it for everyone in the world. Next is SDG number 14, which is life below water. This means we have to have clean oceans, rivers, and lakes for fish to live without any risks. Thank you very much for listening to this PowerPoint presentation. If you have any questions, you can email me on this email. And this music was produced by me, and the references will be in the link of the description of this video. So if you need anything, you can contact me, and thank you very much.